right, let's get started. Welcome. This session is Designers' Freedom to Create and Monetize, the Universal Need to Personalize. My name is Niklas Lyback, and the session will be co-hosted with Matteo Dini. He's CEO and a designer from Livorno, Italy. And so this session, in the session, I will discover two opportunities for designers. They are different, but then at the same time a bit similar. So themes for Galaxy phones and watch faces for Galaxy watches. So this is a business opportunity. I will give you an overview of the tools. And at the end of the presentation, I will give you the next steps, what you should do still at the conference, if you haven't already, and what you should do after the conference. So let's get started. I would like to start with the discussing or sharing my experience working with many designers. So both opportunities are best for experienced designers, designers that have done cross-domain projects. What I mean, they have done visual design, they have done animations, they've done corporate branding, fonts, icons, they may have done some e-commerce or app store optimization. And it's also an opportunity for brand owners, sports leagues, anything that consumers might follow and express themselves. Or it might be an opportunity for clothing and car manufacturers to delight the consumer. You would not necessarily buy a car theme, but if I just purchased a new vehicle, I might want to express that I like my car with a theme that matches my vehicle. Both opportunities are unique in a sense that you don't need to code anything. You as an independent designer, you design, you develop, you publish, you promote. You don't need to hire anybody to code it for you. You do end-to-end. It's also an opportunity, so here are a few examples, always on display screens. It's also an opportunity for indies, self-taught individuals. And some of them are doing part-time, some of them are doing full-time. And I wanted to share a story with one designer that I called this summer. His name is Alexandru Cristian Daniel from Romania. And he told me that he always had the passion to draw. Unfortunately, due to his illness, he stopped school at middle school. But when he discovered this opportunity, so many times, it's basically designers discover the opportunity after they receive the watch as a gift. Then they start wondering that how can I design a watch face? So that's how he discovered as well. And since then, he has published 80 different watch faces in the store. And basically, he's an entrepreneur. This is his venture. He designs, he publishes, he acquires global consumers from the global audience, and he wants to make it better, make more money. So a few of his designs, and he can now design these watch faces from the comfort from his home and give a purpose in life. Say hi to Daniel. So the first opportunity I wanted to describe with you is the personalization of your phone with Galaxy with themes. And so what is a theme? So theme changes your phone experience. It changes the always-on screen, lock screen, home screen, dialer, messaging, and settings. So it's a new experience for your phone. Let's look at a few examples were popular last week. Of course, the Halloween theme were very top of the list. But you get the idea that it's basically an experience, includes the assets for the lock screen and home screen, the new icons, and then you select the colors for different fonts so that it creates that experience. The theme store has 220,000 different content items, and it's growing. And obviously, the opportunities are endless. We just had the elections. People may express their the parties that they follow, or sports team they follow, car brands that they follow, or then the local local festives, like it's Diwali in India. So that's a good example. So it's endless opportunities. And when you're a designer, you can then distribute these globally. So how do you then create these themes? You create them with a theme editor. This is a tool that you upload the assets from Photoshop, the layers, then you select the font colors for the fonts. The tool can be also used to create wallpapers, just wallpapers. So it's possible to sell themes. It is possible to sell wallpapers or icons or AODs. 80% of the revenue is made with themes. Theme is an experience. If you're a photographer, you have beautiful images, it is possible to only sell wallpapers or your beautiful photos in the store. The theme editor is not in a public domain. So the process to become an approved theme seller is that you create a theme, which means 6 screens. You submit it to Samsung, and then we review it, and then you are either approved or declined. Basically, what's the idea why there's this extra process is that when you go to the theme store, you see it's very well, all the themes are very professional made. So it keeps the bar very high and looks consistent. If you haven't already, the theme store, the theme team is here at they have a separate booth. So after this session, I would recommend to, if you're interested in this opportunity, is to talk with them that what's the process, what do I need to create. We have a Photoshop template that helps you to basically make those 6 screens, and then you just come up with an idea that what could be a cool theme. We'll take questions at the end, depending how much time we have, but I think we have time for questions. And there's nobody after us, so we should have plenty of time. So what's the opportunity? In 2017, the theme store made $10 million in gross sales. At the moment, they had 380 approved, talented designers publishing themes. So if 20% made 80%, so the theme sellers made around $150,000 a year. That's a nice extra income for a designer. The devices that make majority of the sales. So the install base of theme store enabled devices. The theme store started to ship with Galaxy S6. The installed base since then is about 500 million phones. It's a huge addressable market. Majority of the downloads are coming from the 2 latest phones, which are Galaxy S series and Note series phones, which make roughly 80% of the purchases. So if you are interested in that opportunity, I would definitely recommend to purchase a device that makes most of the revenue. The items that make money in the store are themes, because it's an experience. It changes everything. It's just phone has a consistent new look and feel. The second biggest opportunity is then wallpapers with 16%. The demographic, if you look at the globally, who's buying content, which is great that it's about 50-50 males and females. So if I design or you design a certain style, let's say it's for females, you have a huge audience globally that is interested in your content. 80% of the purchases in China are made by males. And how do you get discovered? So we want you to become successful in this journey. But we've seen that you really master the process when you have published multiple themes, let's say around 10 themes. Then you really know the process and what's a good theme. But we will help you to get discovered. So you'll see the hot new indie theme banner. So that's the banner that editorial team highlights in the store. And you can be part of that content set with your first theme. And that helps you to get discovered. Because once you see the revenue coming from the first theme, then you are interested in doing another theme. If you don't see any money coming from the first theme, then you will not pursue that opportunity. And Samsung operates a theme magazine. That's basically where Samsung globally announced announces seasonal topics, let's say autumn, Thanksgiving, Halloween, winter, Diwali, and basically ask, do you have great content to be featured in the Diwali section? If you do, then you basically will be featured. You could be selected and be part of that content set. So that's a very powerful way to get discovered and increase your revenue and get discovered. So how do you get started? So as mentioned earlier, so visit the theme booth, Samsung Themes, and then after the conference, there is a YouTube video that we created for designers. It's called Designing Themes for Samsung Devices, and this presentation, it's a webinar that basically walks through some best practices. What is your good first theme? And basically, we want you to pass that first gate as easy as possible. We have a Photoshop template that you can create that device experience. I would recommend to get a Note 9 or S9 and use themes. You get an idea of what is really a good theme, because there's a kind of different thing is that what looks very good in the store and what is then delightful to use. And I think if you have the device, then you get the idea that what's a very good promotion in the store, and then also that what is then delightful to use. Because the theme, on the foreground, you have the icons, so you need to, it can be too busy, the theme, otherwise it's difficult to use. So then you create an amazing theme and submit it. And once you're approved, then you can download the theme editor for Windows and Mac, and then start publishing themes in the store. And this is the URL where you have the information how to get started. If you get stuck, then we are available to help at support@samsungdevelopers.com. And we have 2 submission windows. So you need to submit your application during the submission window when it's open. So it's between November 21st and December 5th. And the one after that is then January 1st to 16th. So those are the important dates when the submission window is open. Great. So then the next opportunity. A bit similar, but different. Let me give you an overview of how you can create watch faces for Galaxy Watch. The difference is that this is in one of the differences is that this tool is in public domain. So you don't need any approval. You can go to developer.samsung.com, download the tool, and create watch faces. This is. If you look back, the Samsung Wearable roadmap or evolution from 2013, and I would like to draw your attention to the announcement of Gear S2 in 2015. So that was the first circular Samsung Gear. Then in 2016, the Gear S3 Frontier and Classic, and then 2017 Gear Sport, and now this year Galaxy Watch. From your perspective, the addressable market starts from 2015. It's the same device, slightly different version of the operating system, but basically from your perspective, that's the platform that you would target. So what are watch faces? So here's a few animations of a few of the preloaded watch faces. You get an idea of what is a watch face. They show different information. Here they show the steps, floors, in addition to time. So the watch faces are the most frequently visited screen on your wearable device. It is the way you personalize it, your device. You make it feel it's yours. It's an application with one single screen. And there's 2 ways to develop it. You can either, as a designer, you can implement it with the Galaxy Watch Designer, and then you don't need to code anything. It's a Photoshop-like tool, connect to the sensors on the local device or even weather, but you don't need to code anything. The other way to do it is with Tizen Studio, and then you code it. And then, of course, you have limitless opportunities what you can do it. Globally, there are some 5,000 designers publishing content in the store, and on average, developers have around 10 content items published. Let's look at some of the most popular designs in 2018. So you have if you have a Samsung phone, you can punch in those short URLs, and that will take you to the store and help you discover these sellers. That some of their watch faces are featured here. But you'll see, I think it's easy to observe that they are quite busy, kind of appeal to the techie male audience. And a few of them were from your portfolio. Yeah. So how do you then create watch faces? There is a tool, Galaxy Watch Designer. It's a Photoshop-like tool that you create and compile the executable. We have, on the Galaxy Watch booth, we have the product manager for Galaxy Watch Designer on the booth. So if you're interested in this opportunity, you should definitely come and discuss with the product manager, and he will demonstrate how the tool can be used. Next, but the best, I think, would be to see someone, a designer, who will walk through the workflow from implementing a watch face in a Photoshop, then designing in Photoshop, then implementing with Watch Face Designer, and then submitting into the store. So I would like to introduce Matteo Dini, who was the #1 revenue maker in 2017. So he published his first items in the store that were less than 7 months in the store. He became #1, and he clearly has set a new trend in the store, like so many Italian designers. As a consumer, we all recognize Italian designers, Prada, Diesel, Benetton, Aprilia, and Ducati. So now we need to add Matteo Dini on the list of famous Italian designers. It must be the Italian design that runs in the Italian blood. So please welcome Matteo Dini.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I want to first express my gratitude to Niklas and Samsung for the opportunity offered and for their help and support. In this presentation, I'm going to take you through the various steps that I usually follow for the creation and development of a watch face. I normally use Adobe Photoshop as a graphic software, even if the same operation can be done by an alternative software. I create a new project where first I do the static graphics elements. For the static elements, I mean the background, shapes, lines, and other elements representing the aesthetic side having non-direct functions. Obviously, the graphic parts must be arranged on several layers. After, I design the dynamic elements which will be necessary for the functioning of the watch face itself. Dynamic elements are the numbers, hands, and other elements which will correspond to various informative functions, such as time zone, date, weekdays, steps, distance traveled, heart rate, etc. Once the design is complete, I will always perform a visual check to understand how the watch face will look and fit on the various Samsung devices. Exported the elements, then I export the individual layers in PNG formats to be ready to be imported to the Galaxy Watch Designer. I created a new project and imported the various PNG files previously exported by Photoshop. I set the properties of the various elements to link them to the functions such as steps, heart rate, hours, minutes, seconds, as well as weather functionality. Galaxy Watch Designer makes it possible and easy to talk to dynamic elements using various available functions. I double-check the correct alignment for the various elements to get a perfect design. Time to perform a test by the emulator to verify everything works well. Then insert the other elements using the emulator to check these properties. Sorry. I already set and checked possible advanced graphic objects such as bitmap fonts. Then I developed the always on mode. Then I add the various links to the apps which will be used to access them by single or double tap on the screen. Then I add graphic elements to give the users variable choice of background colors. Finally, I compile the binary file to be sent to the device for the final test. Store screenshots. I created with Photoshop the screenshots that will be used with the Galaxy App Store, including a list of functionality. Marketing assets, features, then application shortcuts, how to change colors, store icon, of course. I like in the always on mode, and show it in the real devices. Inside the Office, I submit a new request to certify a new application, in this case, a Galaxy Watch. And I insert the metadata related to the new watch face, like title, description features, the category, and then I upload the screenshots previously created. Then I add the binary file created by Galaxy Watch Designer, set the sale price, and I wait for the certification approval from the validation team. Once published for sale, the watch face is available on Galaxy apps. I therefore await feedbacks from the users and keeping an eye on the statistics and downloads and sales, of course. Okay, Niklas?
So what's the opportunity? So the top 10 designers are on average making a 15,000 extra income per month. The devices, there are two device categories. I would recommend to focus on the Gear devices with circular UI, and those are the Galaxy Watch, Gear Sport, Gear S3, and Gear S2. The other category is Gear Fit, but 80% of the revenue is made by these circular watches. I would recommend to focus on these first. Content type that is being downloaded, 80% of the downloads and the revenue coming from watch faces. Consumers like to personalize their devices. In order to be successful, I would one important insight that so far and historically, the installed base is majority of males, as you demonstrated some of the most popular designs, is that's where the money is and that's where the downloads are. If you design a busy, techie watch face, that's the good first step. We run a similar banner promotion for indies. So, what's different from the theme store is we also promote the seller. So in the theme store, we promote seasonal topics, but in the gear store, we promote the individual seller. So if you create the seller brand, then once you have a good amount of downloads, you submit a promotion request. Samsung, could you please feature me? This is my brand. Then our editorial team looks at your portfolio, and they may run a global or US banner promotion in the store. That's how you get discovered, and normally you see 4 to 5 times X downloads and revenue during the 2-week period of time. But as said, we also have an indie banner, like you see here, the second from the bottom, and then it's a mix of watch faces from independent sellers, and that helps you to be discovered and be successful with your first project. So how to get started? So at the conference, visit us on the Galaxy Watch booth, and then I would also recommend to discuss with the editorial team on the Galaxy Store booth. You can ask questions, how would I get featured? What would be the process? We have a great webinars that are recorded and posted on YouTube. So here's a short link where you can find all of our webinars that we have produced so far. Again, getting a Samsung phone and pairing it with a Galaxy Watch makes a lot of sense. You see what's popular, what's trending. Download Galaxy Watch Designer. This is the tool that requires no coding skills. Then you create and publish it through the seller office. And so we are approaching a busy holiday season. So year after year, we see a lot of downloads starting December 25th and the next 3 months. So because this is a very popular holiday gift item. So if you get your content to the store and it's available around latest by the 15th, you could send us an email that I would like to be considered to be featured during the busy holiday season. So this is because we are approaching this prime selling cycle from our perspective, also prime download cycle from your perspective. Here's a short URL to useful material to the Galaxy Watch Designer tool. And if you have any issues, you can contact us at support@samsungdevelopers.com. Okay.
Okay, we, as the designers community, want to say thank you for the Galaxy Watch designer, product management, and engineers. Thank you for Job to coordinate this video. Let's play the video.
Hi guys, this is Gaetano Natriello from Handed Nylon Watch Faces from Italy. I want to thank Galaxy Watch Designer team for giving me the opportunity to make my own business, just combining technology and creativity. Thank you guys for all your hard work and good job.
Hello, I'm Yannis from GS Watch Faces. I'd like to say a big thank you to the Galaxy Watch Designer team for giving us a great and easy to use tool that brings our creations to life. Without you, nothing from what I have achieved would be possible. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name is Andrea Pasqua. I'm a developer from Italy. My brand is AP Watches and I have over 300 watch faces since I started back in December 2016. I want to thank all the people who have supported me, the YouTube channel G per Gems Review, with his great watch faces reviews, and a special thanks goes to the real watch designer team, who continue to improve the application, simplifying the work for us developers. Thanks again. Ciao!
Hello, it's Matteo from KSR Watch, and I just want to say thank you for providing us such a powerful tool like the Galaxy Watch Designer. I really like the application and I think it's the best application to create watch faces. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, Oliver from 78 Degrees North Watch Faces in Norway here. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Galaxy Watch Designer team for all the hard work you guys put in to make Galaxy Watch Designer the great tool that it is for us developers. I've created about 200 watch faces with this tool over the last couple of years, and with every update it just keeps getting better. I had the pleasure of meeting some of you at the Samsung Developer Conference last year, and I was deeply impressed by your professionalism and how dedicated and knowledgeable you all are. I know you spend a lot of your spare time developing the Galaxy Watch Designer tool, and I just hope you get the recognition you deserve for that commitment, and also the funding you need to keep making the tool even better in the future. I can honestly say that I would never have made a single watch face if it wasn't for you guys. So keep up the good work, have fun at the conference, and I hope to see you again soon.
Great. I think we have time for questions if you have any questions that were not addressed. Go ahead. And there's a microphone for you coming behind you.
So what is the review process like? So you said you wanted to keep the design consistent and high quality. What if I want my kids to have a go and it doesn't quite meet the quality or design specs? Would there be any possibility of passing that, or is that just a no-go? And also along those lines, is there feedback? So something like the Apple Store, if you submit an app to that, you get almost zero feedback. Do you guys give more feedback? So there you go.
Sure. So I think it's a good question to ask from the Theme Store team what they think about submitting kind of kids designing the watch faces. The idea is that when you go to, as a consumers, we go to the Theme Store, we see kind of professionally made themes that the audiences, device owners would like. So that's why they created, or we have this process in place to get access to the theme editor. Once you have access to the theme editor, then there will be a certification every time you submit. But basically, the first step is like a college application. We see that you're a professional designer and you understand the concept, and then basically we'll let you access the store and the tool. And there will be always, when you submit a new theme, a manual testing from Samsung that will test the theme, make sure that all the settings are still visible like they should be. So that's the normal certification process. If for some reason, kind of, I've seen that some of the themes get rejected, especially when you do your first submission, then somewhere deep in the settings, we see that basically the on-off toggle button and then the background, everything is white, so you don't see it. So then it gets rejected. Then you learn that, okay, next time I'll need to keep an eye on that one setting there deep in the settings. And so if it's rejected, we'll let you know what was the reason for rejection, so you know what to fix.
So most rejections are functional, not aesthetic?
That's correct. There are, especially regarding settings, the setting space is very deep, and in some of the pages, kind of, especially with white color and font is also white. So those are the most common issues. It's not the aesthetics of the theme. All right.
I got one. How long does it take to design one of your watch faces? And what is one thing that has surprised you about creating them that maybe you've learned since you started?
Quanto ci mette a fare un orologio, un watch face?
Dipende dalla qualità.
Yeah. It depends from the quality.
It depends from the quality. Usually, lately, I can. Quanto tempo, come si dice? Ci metto. It took 2 weeks. It depends from the details of the watch face and the other elements. When I started, I do a watch face in 2-3 days, but now the graphic elements require more detail because the market is cresce, come si dice? Growing. Okay. And I'll try my best.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for joining the session.